That's how they do it back in the Midwestern states. In other countries, like Australia, cows, sheep, horses, just as well. But they know it's superfluous. Superfluous means no need. There's no need to build a fence to keep their cattle. What they do is they dig deep in the ground for water, where they can get fresh water. And it's this water pump that will feed their cattle, their horses, their sheep. They know that they don't have to build a fence, because as long as the farm animals know this is where they get their fresh water, this is what they're going to live on, they don't need to stray away. They don't need to leave the farm. The farmers never have to worry about losing the cattle, the sheep, or the horses, because it's this fresh water that keeps them staying in, locked in, keeps them together. Okay? So it's the same thing with us and God. God doesn't lock us up by laws to la fondo to keep us locked in and stuff. No, God gives us freedom. He don't encircle us or encage us, imprison us, to keep us in his fold. But he gives the life of us through the life of the living water. Okay? Because if we're smart, which we are, we know there's no need for us to leave or go far away from God, because we know where the fresh water is at. We know where the living water is at. We stay near that fresh water pump, because is what is going to give us life. Okay? It's said in John 10:27, my sheep listen to my voice, I know them, and they follow me. We know Jesus, and Jesus knows us. He doesn't have to build a fence around us to keep us locked in or anything. We got freedom. We got freedom. We can leave Jesus if we want. We don't have to follow Jesus if we want, but we are smart, like I said. Just like the farm animals in Australia, they stay close to the fresh water pump. It goes on to say, but those who drink the water I give will never be thirsty again. It becomes a fresh spring within them, giving them eternal life. So, now, always be smart. Okay? Know to be and go to where the things that you will benefit from. Mea tote manuiai, ma mea tote olai. Awane I se etia o tō I mea whatawa. Don't always go be enticed by things that you'll never benefit from. You'll never gain from. And it won't enhance your life. Be smart. Stay close to the water. Stay close to God. Okay, malam lama o tō whanau? Okay, I pray to God you guys will always stay close to the water. Tātou pese se lau tō sūn mawhitu. Le afionga pa ia o le atua tusi filifilia mai le whenga inga tuai. E ona pasino mai le tusi whaita waso o tātou e kādesia. Mo lea le tusi whata oto o le mtau kusulua. La tātou whaitau whalawhala whai mai le whai pu lua skulu mangtasi se i o le lua skulu mai le vali. Book of Proverbs 12, verse 21 to verse 28. Whawhong mai lea whiong pa i o le atua. Ele o se mea leanga e tasi i lea mi o tonu. Au ea mi o leanga e tumu i lātou i le leanga. O le tangata mawhauwhau, nā te uwhi o poto. Au loto o e wālea, e whaalau tele o lātou wālea. O le atu wālea, i le loto o le tangata, wa whaawaiwai ai o ia. Au le upure lei, e wha oli oli na ai. E le tu nua le paie na na manu sa tuli. Au le oloa ta ua a tangata, e ai lea i le ua fina ngā i ngā wenga. No harm comes to the righteous, but the wicked are filled with trouble. Lying lips are detestable to the Lord, but those who deal faithfully are his delight. A shrewd man keeps his knowledge to himself, but a foolish heart proclaims its folly. The hand of the diligent will rule, but laziness ends in forced labor. Anxiety weighs down the heart of a man, but a good word cheers it up. A righteous man is cautious in friendship, but the ways of the wicked leads them astray. A lazy man does not roast his game, but a diligent man prizes his possessions. There is life in the path of righteousness, but another path leads to death. O le tusi filifilia mai le whenga ngā fōu. O le tala lei na tusia mātei o lona tau kusula matasi. O le whai pu lua sula malima se i o le tōs fulu. Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 11. Again, we'll read responsively from verse 25 to verse 30. O le alawa I tu aso e whetalai atu ai Yesu o whape atu. O te whaftai atu oe lo te mai. Le ari o le langi ma le lalo langi. Ina wa e na nā ia mea I e popoto ma e ata mai. A ua whaalia atu ia mea I tama vari vari. Wa tuina mai mea uma ia te au e lo te maa. Rei fo I se tasi wa I loa le atari wa na o le te maa. Rei fo I se tasi wa I loa le te maa wa na o le atari. Ma se wa loto o le atari e whaari atu iai. I o tō amoina la uamu. Ma I o tō wha o ao ia tia. A wā o au le angamalu ma le loto maulalo. Mana maua lea e o tō le malo longa. At the time Jesus declared, I praise you, Father, Lord of the heaven and earth, because you have hidden these things from those wise and learned, and revealed them to little children. Yes, Father, for this was well pleasing in your sight. All things have been entrusted to me by the Father. No one knows the Son except the Father, and no one knows the Father except the Son, and those to whom the Son chooses to reveal him. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. This is Los Laos Fulham. whata whaitaulanga rau whanau. Lea mātou te hosi atu le nei taulanga. Nā se vaenga o te māwaenga o e fwin mai. Mātou te tuin atu. Awāre ngā ruenga te nae o rau e kāresia nei. Mātou te talo i a whapa ia le nei fua. Whātasi ma o mātou te ngata. I swafo Jesu Christo. Amen. O le langa le swafo mamaru le atua te maa, le atua le alo, le atua le ananga sa. Mai le tusi whaitau aso. O le matua le launga maua lea le tusi o whata oto. O lua, au le whai upu lua suri man lima, le whapea. O le atu atu vale i le loto o le tingata, ua wha vai vai ai o ia. Au le upu le lei, e wha ori ori ina ai. Anxiety weighs down the heart of a man, but a good word cheers it up. O le autu o mawhauwhaunga, atu vale ma le lotu. Anxiety and the heart. Anxiety, other words are, you can use instead of anxiety is anguish, desperate, discomfort, distraction, distress, frantic, jumpy, or panic. It's one of those mental health words. And I speak specifically to you, Lotu. Anytime you hear me use the word mental health, it means to be mentally strong, not just smart and wise, but mentally confident, okay? Mentally secure. Because you have schools, universities, colleges, where you can learn to be mentally smart and mentally wise. You have gymnasiums, you have spas, fitness centers, where you can be physically strong. But to be mentally fit, to have good mental health, it involves your spirit. Most likely o ngā I le lotu, e maua ai, le malosi wha le mawhauwhau, o le malosi wha le anganga. Okay? The wise man says, anxiety will weigh down a man's heart, but a good word will cheer you up. So anytime you feel stressed, you feel pressure, anxiety, it'll weigh you down. There's a story about a lady, she's one of those multitask ladies, got like 2 jobs, take care of her children, cater to her husband. She was getting to the point, she was very stressed out and had anxiety attacks. She goes, sees the doctor, she goes, doc, I feel run down. He will, mafa kere a te au, ni me tere o sputu mai kere a me fai. And the doctor does his examination and his diagnosis, and he comes up, well, you know what, to be honest, it's not that you're run down, you're just all wound up. All that pressure inside's building up.
all that feeling of tension, it's just building up inside. That's the problem. So don't get me wrong about being pressured, getting tensed up, because sometimes it's good. A rubber band is only good when you stretch it. Other than that, it's no use. So it's gotta stretch out. A guitar string, if you just attach it and it's loose, it's no good. No, you gotta tighten it up in order for it to be useful and sound beautiful. A bow and arrow, you gotta pull the string for it to be able to snap and be useful. You need tension, but it's gotta be balanced. Because there are engineers that says every metal has its fatigue limit. Metals. They know there's always a point, a fatigue point, that the metal will break or snap. It's that fatigue limit. There is that limit where a person, he could take so much, but then next you know he's gonna snap. Once you go beyond that limit, man, the person snaps. So we pray. Start over there to EFKAS, exactly where is that breaking point? Where is that fatigue limit? When we get all wound up, when we get all stressed out and tense. It's all about you're living outside of God's power.
You're living outside of God's presence. It's like that story of the cattle. If you leave the freshwater pump, that's where problems happen. When you leave outside of God's presence, that's when life is harder for you. It's okay, you can go far away, but stay clear, stay close, stay near. Don't stray away from God. There's that fatigue limit. There's that pressure point. It's the wow, know his limit. Okay? That's why the wise man says, anxiety on a man's heart, it weighs him down. Okay? Anxiety, anxious, it's unsettling. But there's two, in this version of the English Bible library, there's two other times that you find this word, the first one is and then he lied down and he said, so what's going to happen to you? You're going to be cast away. You will be a restless wanderer upon the earth. Because of his actions, now you're going to be punished. You're going to have to suffer the consequences. for the rest of your life. You're going to be restless. Ere moa so fide mu. Ere moa so mapusanga. In your heart, you're going to be restless. The other time, moa le kenese luosul mafitu. Ile talaya Esau ma Yakopo. O umana whamanuia Isaaku le uso leo Yakopo. Awotoe twai mai Esau. He already blessed them. And then Esau goes, is that it? Don't you have one more blessing for me? All you have is one blessing? Etasi le manuia wa yate oi. But then we all know Ortana. For the rest of his life, he sold his birthright. So for the rest of his life, he had to suffer the consequences. From then on out, his heart was restless. Anxiety is going to be with him for the rest of his life. O le mea na moni mawha mauni ai le matua o le mea asu. O le atu vale. Anxiety, it weighs down a man's heart. It's choices. Out the vote, just like I said, especially for you guys, you need to be mentally strong, mentally confident. Mentally strong, spiritually strong, because sometimes it's what's in your heart is going to dictate what your choices you make. Sometimes when you're hungry and you're poor and you're stressed out, it says, you know what, I'm just going to go steal. But when you make that choice, sometimes you're going to have to pay the consequences for the rest of your life. And that's important. Sometimes if you're lazy, you don't want to do your homework, you're going to pay for it for the rest of your life. Because anxiety, when you're stressed out, when you got too much tension or too less tension, if it's not right, it will not work. So don't ever be afraid. Don't ever shy away. If you have challenges in your life, aluita wina outou I mea whai, I mea aonga, o tō anga mai lotu. You know how to rise to that challenge, not shy away from it. You know how to accept it, because the decisions you make is going to be based on what consequences you face afterwards. And believe me, life doesn't stop. Life moves on. You're not going to be in high school forever. You're not going to be in junior high school forever. There'll come a time you're going to have to leave high school. You're going to have to go out there and get a job. You're going to have to feed yourself. You're going to have to take care of your family. You're going to have to move on. And then if you don't make the right choices, you're going to have to pay the consequences. But it's all about staying close in the presence of God. That's why Jesus said in the book of Matthew, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart. Yoto maya te au, o to uma, o e tinga ina mamaftia, I avenga. O au foi, e mālolo ai o tu, yoto amo ina la amo, ma I o tu whaawa o mai atia. Learn from me. So Jesus, although he got wound up real tight, but he stayed with God. Remember, before he went to the cross, he went and prayed to God. How much stress was upon him, how much pressure that was upon him, he went to God. EFKAS na la tatou ikaresia. E ia mea tupu. E luki tau ina ai oe maa. E re ngata I mea ia o loo I tatou ngaru. Au mea tupu foi tau aina. O mea tupu I lau ngaruenga. E mea e tupu I lau o langa. You're always going to be tested. You're always going to be put to the fire. You're always going to be stressed out. And understand this. Sometimes it's through the pressure of the cold. You'll get the diamond. Te whaumalang I se ata ne ia mālam namang o whia e tātou tangata. Tātou I karisia. This is water tubing. It's good, fun, just like water skiing. The boat uses the rope, and you're on that water tube, inflatable tube. It's easy. You stay on top of the tube, it's sitting light. But there are times it gets rocking and it flips. When it flips, they teach you, let go. You're underwater, under the inflatable tube. That's not how you do it. And if you stay like that, you're going to get injured and probably even drown. Safe thing to do is just let go, start over. Sometimes in life when we got too much pressure, when we got too much anxiety on us, sometimes let go. Alu ileri. Lafo uma le avenga ileri. Tuatu ileri. Whatever problems, whatever stress, whatever pressure you have, leave it to the Lord. He'll take care of it. O ia maroro ai. O ia tatu manu ai. Learn to let go and let it go to God. Tatu pese o Sauniga foi pese. Ia tuliloina pea I mātou I le alofa tunoa o le atua lo mātou I tamā. I le sili ese o Iesu Kristo. I le male maftanga whai pea lava manga pa ia. Lei se o le whāwau lava. Amen. Se tonu leo o mori la mo leo foi o motu nei langi le poloma fasani e na vanga sa fita tumi na ona suma fa finengo foi alo ni tsana tsa fatsawa e mol no tsai se am fatsai e suma le fa finengo Vale na vanga sa fita tumi nei suma tsai Amalo ta pena amalo sai di le tua mo fino mal mo peni mo chele lo suma ya famunia tu le tua lo wala tua mo ia mo na malo mo to fa le tua awale ko fo la mai le na fino ia ta suri ya fa pena le tua fetalai le to fa tu na fa munia ya wale jato malis e kalisia mo jato tamata ia mamau ni tuata falu ni au tawia ila suma fafengaina mo pele ola mamausi ya wale tua mo fumado o mania